Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Professor Walker. Most people call me Nyce Jones, Mr. Jones, or Jones, whichever of the few. I'm just here to talk with you all a little bit about entrepreneurship and marketing as it relates to your craft and being a creator. So the first thing I really want you to do is make sure you have a pen and paper out. I know you have this video and you could run it back as many times as you like. However, studies always show that when you sit and take notes, it's actually going to help with you retaining things in your brain. So that's the first thing I want you to actually do. So now that you've done that, now we're going to get into the content a little bit. So I want you to understand, write this down, you need to have a mindset shift. Now, if your goal is for your music or whatever it is that you like to create and you're passionate about, and you want that to be your side hustle or eventually your main hustle, you need to think in terms of you being an entrepreneur. You need to think of how this hustle of yours can become your main source of income. And I understand that sometimes that's a difficult thing with the things that exist in the world. However, the moment you address that shift and recognize you have value, you'll place that value into everything that you create, and the market will now shift to what you're creating. The second thing, think about your investment, right? You guys are here for Hip Hop Fin Fest. We're talking about money, right? So thinking about your investment. When I think of investment, I don't always just talk about money. One of your biggest investments is also your time and your energy. So with everything that you're going to do and you're putting into, you need to figure out what is your ROI. ROI just stands for return on your investment, right? So for the things that I'm doing and the effort that I'm putting out there, think about ROI. What is my return on the investment that I put out? For any dollar that you spend, you need to figure out how that dollar is coming back to you and how are you going to produce above and beyond that dollar that you spend. The next thing I want you to think about is metrics, numbers. So if you start out with everything that you produce and release, let's say you're creating a song and you're preparing to put it out onto SoundCloud, and let's say you want to put that onto social media and you have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, you name it, you got it, right? You need to set aside some type of goal for yourself, right? Before you ever put it out, think strategic. What is my goal? How many people do I want to reach? How much time do I want to take? How much time do I give myself to reach this goal? And then after that, you want to think about what is my strategy with how I'm going to achieve that goal. Okay, so again, think about your investment with time and money. Think about how you're going to track that, what is going to be the return on your investment of your time, energy, and your money. Have some type of goal or metrics with whatever you're putting out and whatever the platforms you're putting out. And then, have some type of strategy with how you're going to do that. So something else to think about, if your strategy includes direct outreach, meaning you're maybe texting people, you're sliding in the DMs with sharing your links and stuff like that, please don't be that person that simply just drops a link and sends it to people. Let's think about that if you approach somebody in the street. If somebody just said, here, check this out, and they don't know who you are, they're not going to want to check it out, right? So if it's people you don't have much communication with, introduce yourself. Talk to them about who you are. What is your music about? Something within that may resonate with them, and they're going to be more likely to check out, your link. And even if they don't on the first one, social media's biggest asset is, being social. And communication is a two-way street. So the more you talk to people and you connect with them on a one-on-one basis, the better it's going to be. The last thing I want you to think about is, being human, right? The more you become human, the more your product will be moving. So keep that in mind. The more you become human, the more your product will be moving. So in thinking about all these things, here's a scenario. Let's say I record a song. I think it's great. I now, before I ever release it, I'm going to write up a strategy. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put it on YouTube. And then from YouTube, I'm going to distribute this on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, in addition to YouTube. And I'm going to point everything to my YouTube. My goal in the month of April is to have 2,000 views by the end of the month. How am I going to do that? Well, let me think about the metrics. I have 5,000 Facebook followers. I have 1,000 Twitter followers. I have 3,000 Instagram followers. So when you look at the numbers, now it's like, okay, I need to impact, 20% of this market to now be able to hit that goal that I have. So now you have a schedule, you have a strategy, you have the product, which is your song, and you have an idea of what your numbers are. Now that you have an idea of what your numbers are, once you start putting it out and involving your strategy over that time for how often are you going to post, how many times are you going to post your link per week, how often are you going to talk to people one-on-one in their direct messaging, you'll then start to see the results. Now, if you fall a little short, don't let that bother you, because you're going to be a lot closer to that goal in your timeline because of the fact that you set that goal and you had a strategy in place. Once you do that, you want to now assess, all right, if there's some gaps in, let's say I set that goal at 2,000 and maybe I got to 1,700. It's like, all right, what could I have done differently to increase my output to get closer to my goal? And now on your next release, you're going to repeat this same cycle, but now taking what you learned in real time from this process, you'll then be able to now adjust your strategy and tweak it to be able to do better than you did before. And when you do this with every single release, the results will come. This is Nyce Jones, and I'm done.